Well folks, it's a brand new year, which means brand new controversies and shameless exploitation within the video game industry, and it also means new video games, which I guess is pretty cool. Now, you already probably know about all of the heavy hitters slated to release in 2022. I'm of course talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Starfield, Splatoon 3, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Dying Light 2, Sonic Frontiers, Bayonetta 3, maybe the Breath of the Wild sequel, and of course, Elden Ring. Now, as much as I'm ready to be punished by Daddy Miyazaki again, I wanted to take some time to actually highlight lesser known, lesser discussed games scheduled to release this year that actually look pretty damn cool. Now, this isn't a comprehensive list or anything like that, rather it's games that we here at the Roboweirdo are looking forward to this year. Kicking things off is Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Team Reptile's Bomb Rush Cyberfunk looks to be the spiritual successor to the beloved Jet Grind radio series that fans of the series like myself have been waiting for a very long time. First and foremost, it nails the aesthetic of the Jet Set series, and stylistically, it's indistinguishable from the Jet Set series. From the nostalgic cel-shaded graphics reminiscent of the 2000s era to the quirky electronic soundtrack produced by Hideki Naganuma, this looks to be an actual follow-up to the franchise that it's drawing inspiration from and not just a spiritual successor. Now, when it comes to gameplay, at least from the looks of it, it does appear as if they've managed to recapture the magic of the Jet Set series there as well. You'll skate around a sprawling metropolis, tag buildings, do tricks, and of course, dance, because it wouldn't be a Jet Set spiritual successor without copious amounts of dancing. And while there's still not too much that's known about the gameplay itself, they do seem to be modernizing the Jet Set formula by introducing skateboarding into the mix, which is pretty cool. The question is, can this game faithfully recreate the magic of the Jet Set series, or is it all style and no substance? We'll have to find out later this year when Bomb Rush Cyberpunk comes to Nintendo Switch and PC. Somerville is UK-based indie developer Jumpstudio's debut release, and it's being produced by Dino Patti. Now, if you're not familiar with Dino Patti, this was the executive director for both Limbo and Inside, two games that are just incredible. They managed to remain incredibly fun, yet they simultaneously evoke a strong sense of dread from the players. It's creepy, but I love it. And Somerville looks to up the ante even more. In this third-person puzzle platformer, you'll play as an entire family this time, dog included, trying to escape an alien invasion. Now, what strikes me about Patti's games is how much personality these games convey despite the lack of voice acting or any narration, but what sets Somerville apart from Limbo and Inside is really the setup. In Inside and Limbo, you begin the game with little to no context, but as you progress throughout the story, you begin to learn more and more details about the environment that you find yourself in. But in Somerville, you know there's an alien invasion and your goal is to survive. Now, that's not to say that the game will be devoid of any mysteries, because like the family in the game, you'll presumably have no idea why aliens are invading, and their extraterrestrial artifacts might yield some insight into their motivations. Perhaps we'll find out why. I'm not sure, but either way, this is definitely a day one pickup for me. Now, there's currently no set release date for the game at the time that I record this, but it is slated to be released sometime in 2022. Definitely look out for this one. I'm one of those weirdos who actually likes VR. I mean, I'm not necessarily the biggest VR enthusiast in the world, but I do enjoy a good VR game from time to time, and I really appreciated a game called Moss when it was released back on the PSVR in 2018. Now, Moss Book 2 is coming out this year, and it picks up exactly where Book 1 left off. Now, if you enjoyed the first game, I think you already probably know what to expect, but if you haven't played Moss yet, it's a really interesting VR puzzle platformer with a simple yet satisfying combat system and an adorable story where you're guiding a mouse named Quill through hostile environments. And what's really unique about this game is it doesn't make you feel as if you're some sort of detached observer, but rather you're an active participant in this game who forms a bond with this mouse. And when I say form a bond, I mean you can literally high-five Quill, and I don't think there's anything more adorable in gaming. So definitely we'll be looking forward to Moss. And if you are new to VR, I think that the first game is one of those games that will be a good introduction to VR. Shredder's Revenge is a love letter to fans of the side-scrolling beat-em-up TMNT games that were massively popular during the late 80s and early 90s, and I am incredibly excited to play this game and, hopefully relive that nostalgia that I felt during my childhood. Now, the developers are outright saying that the gameplay is indeed inspired by the older games, which is cool because those games were fucking awesome, but nostalgia aside, this 4-player brawler does expand on the old formula, offering a full-fledged story mode along with new playable characters like April O'Neil, and even vehicles. I mean, this could be a masterpiece as long as they don't f it up, but we have no reason to believe that they will, because this is being developed by the team at Tribute Games, and as Polygon's Michael McWhorter writes, two of the founders of that studio, Jonathan Levine and Justice Sire, previously worked on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. Alright, well, that sounds promising. Sign me the f up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge debuts sometime in 2022 on Nintendo Switch and PC, and I cannot wait to check this one out. Tunic is a Zelda-like isometric action-adventure game developed by one person. And not only does this game look amazing, but the gameplay looks just outstanding. You'll need to solve puzzles and collect items to progress, and the combat looks satisfying as hell based on what we've seen. Thankfully, we won't actually have to wait long for Tunic, as it's set to release on March 16th on Xbox and PC. But if you can't wait, make sure that you check out Death's Door from last year, meanwhile, because this was an unexpected surprise from 2021 that looks similar to Tunic with respect to the gameplay at least, but I'm certainly pumped for Tunic. In Stray, you play as a cat in a world dominated by robots. Now, I shouldn't have to say anything else about this game, because if that isn't enough to intrigue you, then nothing else will. But it's an adventure game where you'll progress by solving puzzles by doing, cat things, like pushing things off of surfaces. Now, no word yet on whether or not you'll be able to barf up hairballs on couches or walk in front of people purposefully to try to trip them, but the game will feature pretty intense action sequences that kind of remind me of the Metroid Dread Emmy chase that definitely got the adrenaline pumping. No word yet on a specific release date, but it's sometime in 2022, so yeah, check it out. Well, folks, that's it. There are more games on my radar for sure, but these are the ones that I'm keeping a really close eye on. I mean, with so many heavy hitters dropping this year, it'll be easy to miss the more obscure, lesser discussed releases, but let me know in the comments below which lesser known, lesser discussed games are you keeping your eye on that you hope don't get drowned out by these heavy hitter titles, even if I am excited for the heavy hitters, obviously. But, hopefully, we can celebrate these smaller games as well. So definitely be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned for more videos here on the Roboweirdo.